we're ready to begin our advanced training. We're going to go right into 9 through 12 in the yoga translations. And number 9 is the down dog sequence. So in our down dog sequence, we're going to add on some more advanced variations like standing splits and handstands and some more chaturungas and poses like that that are more challenging. Just want to give you a little heads up about the mats. They get grippy when they're wet, and they're a little bit more slippy when they're dry. So if you feel like you need more grip, just put a little water on there, and it'll give you a little bit more non-slip version. So yeah, they're really soft, suede microfiber top, and then if you feel like your feet are slipping, just add a little moisture, either spray or your water bottle. It makes a huge difference. So we're going to press the swing down strongly all the way to the top of the legs on our tippy toes. And in this pose, I want you to just recognize that there's a little bit of play where we can press forward with the hips and we can sink back. We always lead with the heart, so head up, right? Gaze up. So most people head dive, which means they're bending at the hip flexors a little too soon. I want us to press forward on the diagonal so we come through our angel wings, and then we bend at the hip flexors to come on down. So once we come down, we're going to allow our feet to be hip distance, clasp the elbows, pull the elbows up towards the ears, flat back, sway from side to side. Just let that feel good. Lengthening the back body, starting to open up any sort of tightness that lives along the iliac crest. And the swing, we want it nice and low on the leg, so if you need to adjust it, you're going to lift one leg up, shimmy the hip towards the sky, change sides, lift the other leg up, and just shimmy it down. There is a sweet spot where it feels way better than the other locations. Okay, so just find your sweet spot. Go ahead and clasp your elbows. Just take a moment. Just let the body explore in the space. So weight in the upper body, lift through the sit bones and grounding through the balls of the feet. If you're pressing forward strongly, your heels will be up. So that's just something that in time you'll get used to, even though you're grounding down. So you have this nice dynamic tension between the heels dropping and the sit bones lifting. You're not rocking back. So your hip bones are not over your ankles. Your hip bones are all the way forward, draping over the front of the mat. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to expand and extend out. I'm going to stretch out into a down dog. Now you can walk it back to the back of the mat, but I like staying in the center of the mat. I like the center of the mat because you have this big tension that you keep on the swing. Now from here, we're going to come into a few variations. So the first thing I want to do is come through my cat's meow. So I'm going to inhale, arch, and open it up. Exhale, round in, pull the navel towards the sky and squeeze. That's it. Inhale, arch and open. Move from the heart, right? Pressing the back of the head into an invisible wall so you're not kinking the neck. Exhale, go ahead and round in, pull the navel up, round the back. It's like a down dog and cat-cow got together. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, round in. Really good. Inhale, lift. And the next time we lift, we're going to add a leg. Let's go ahead and start with our right leg up. You're going to have to teach backwards with me. So the other leg,
I see.
Right leg up, and then pull knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull knee to nose. Beautiful. Inhaling, open it up, arch and open. That's it. Exhale, round in and squeeze. We're undulating in the spine, undulating in the swing. And the next time we squeeze, hold it there, and then inhale, lift, and press the leg out to the side. With a straight leg, just work in the horizontal plane where you're letting the toes point all the way over to your right side. Then we bend the knee, and that's how we get the outside in hook. So it's not inside the swing. It's all the way out and around. We always hook outside in with all of the poses. If the leg loops in your way, you're in the right place. So from there, you're going to hop your foot a little bit more forward. You're going to ground down through your left heel and just press back. Press back. Beautiful. Inhale, pull forward, arch and open. Exhale, press back. My heel is close to my bum to begin. And then we're going to inhale, pull forward, and come right into our standing split. So we straighten that right leg towards the sky. Ooh la la. and just let your upper body hang. Now first the arms can be strong and straight, and then in time, you're going to let your elbows drop. When you let your elbows drop, you're going to find your balance point. If you can find the balance point, you're going to try for airplane wings. If airplane wings are not available for you, then you can try just one hand down and practicing balancing with one hand, or you can do both hands clasped behind you and pull overhead. You really have to find the balance point. If you lose the balance, just come on back and try it again. Play with it. Play with how to really pull the energy towards the center line to create that strength. Awesome. Release your clasp wherever you are. Let's straighten it out. Come on down. Happy dog. Both feet find the ground. Center the mat. Hip distance. Wag your tail. Okay? So maybe some loop-de-loops happen, some figure eights, whatever feels natural for today. You're getting that deep rocking session on the hips, so you have to take your time with it. All right, let's go ahead and come on back. Inhale, pull forward. Let's try the other leg, left leg up. Good. Exhale, knee to nose. Squeeze, pull on in. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Excellent. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Beautiful. Exhale, squeeze. Okay, next one, we're going to inhale, lift. Bring the leg out to the side. When we bring it out to the side, then when we bend the knee, kicking the leg loop out of the way, we have our hook. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and drive that right heel down to get the big stretch, preparing for splits. So we take our time. Inhale, pull forward a few times. Always undulating the spine. That looks great. Exhale, press back. This time, inhale, lift. Straighten that left leg towards the sky. And now when we hang, I like to hop the foot forward. Make sure that you have a good grounding through your right foot, and then drop the elbows. So standing splits are challenging. See if you can find your balance. If your balance is not there, just keep one hand on the floor. If you can come into airplane wings, that would be wonderful. That's the next step. Or clasp the hands behind the back and pull them overhead. Make sure you're creating space everywhere instead of tension. What would that look like and feel like? Yeah, it requires a lot of focus. Beautiful. Another deep breath here. Go ahead and release down. Walk your hands forward, the foot comes down, happy dog, wag your tail. We're going to build on that sequence, but we're just going to come back to it. Let's just go ahead and enjoy the loop-de-loops and figure eight. Adjust the swing anytime that you need by lifting one leg and then the other leg. Come on back down. Okay, let's try that one more time. We're going to add on there. We're going to inhale, right leg up. We're going to push the leg out to the side, bend the knee, hook the foot. Stay here for a breath, and then what we're going to do is come into standing split twist. So I'm going to plant my left hand down, straighten the right leg towards the sky, and then spin open. Yes, there we go. So standing split twist is another variation. See if you can really stack the shoulders. There you go. Nice, yeah. Practicing plugging in. And then we're going to let that hand reach over behind our back to the left side of the swing. Yes. And then we're going to come into our half moon. This is what happens. We're going to look down. Okay. Turn your toes out to the left. And then you're going to let your body spin open to the left towards me. Just turn your toes first and let your upper body come. Yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Yeah. Beth is practicing with us today. You'll see her every once in a while pop in. Okay, cool. So this is our half moon, which feels really good. Now, if we want to come up from half moon into black swan, what we're going to do is climb. And it looks like this. My left hand is going to reach up, hold on to the swing, so my right hand is free to find the handhold. Use a wrist wrap if you can. Okay? Once we get the wrist wrap, I'm going to drop my head, stretch my neck, let my left hand dangle towards the floor, just let that feel good, and then when we're ready, we're going to float. So I'm going to bend my left knee, move that towards the inner thigh, and then I'm in my black swan number one. Beautiful. You can Reach back kind of behind you if you need a little bit more room. It's almost like side tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Feels so good in the shoulders and the
so
arms.
Good. A big stretch.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to roll my belly. This is a little bit more of an advanced sequence because I'm adding on to the black swan. I'm going to roll my belly down towards the ground. I'm going to let the right knee bend. I'm going to turn my shoulders over, and I'm going to come into black swan number 2. Holding on to my wrist wrap with both hands. Big shoulder stretch. Okay, it looks like Nataraj, right?
Mm-hmm.
From here, I'm going to pick up my left knee and let the bottom of the foot find the quad, the top of the thigh, and that's my black swan number 2. I can go into number 3 just by hooking the feet, and then if there's room, I'm going to arch and try to bring the top of my head to my heels, just energetically. And we can lift if we're feeling fancy. Now we're going to bring it down. Black swan is a whole sequence, so we could go on from there, but I wanted to show you just the black swan number 1 and 2. Now we're going to reverse it, straighten both legs, turn the belly towards the front of the room here. Again, let the head hang. And then we're going to slowly let ourselves down with control, right? So back to half moon. Slide on down, and then both hands find the ground, walk it forward. Woo! How fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. Okay, now release both legs, come back to happy dog. Give yourself time to absorb, receive, and adjust. This is our reset. And then we're going to try that on second side. This is the extended B-side version of our down dog sequence. So bear with us. Take a break whenever you need. Inhale, arch, and lift. Let's bring the left leg up as well. Press it out to the side, bend the knee. Hook, kick the leg loop out of the way. And now I'm going to stay lifted. I'm going to plant my right hand down, straighten the left leg, left arm finds the sky. Look up towards your fingertips. So if you need to hop forward to find ground, that tends to be very helpful. If your foot feels like it's slipping, you can float away. That's fine. But let's try and stay stacked. So the shoulder stays over the wrist, and then I'm stacking my shoulders on top of one another. And then I'm going to reach back behind me as far as possible, and then all of a sudden I'm going to find the swing. Thumb up, I hold on to the swing. I'm going to turn my toes out to the right, and all of a sudden I swim out to a half moon. Right? Beautiful. Reach up as high as you can. That is the key. Now this is enough of a pose. We could just pause here, drop the head, ear to shoulder, and get a great stretch through the neck. If we want to try our black swan sequence, we're going to take our right hand, reach up and grab for the swing, so the left hand is free to find the wrist wrap. After I have a nice grip there, I can let myself float. Okay, so black swan with the head tilt is just a nice therapeutic for the neck, otherwise nice strong lines of energy. Beautiful. Just try dropping the ear to shoulder, it feels amazing. Okay, after we feel complete, we reground in the center of the mat. Bend the left knee first, then roll the shoulders over. Yes, belly is facing down towards the ground. Hold on to the wrist wrap with both hands, and then black swan number 2. And you'll see these in this pose in the playing cards, so I'm going to make sure that we covered it. So we get all the playing cards dialed for the training. And then black swan number 3 is hook the heels, so stack the heels. And then if you can, arch and lean back. You might have to negotiate with the leg loop. And then I bicep curl and pull for a deeper expression. Yes, beautiful. And then extend. So unfurl, we're going to reverse it. Right foot down, straighten both legs. Belly turns towards the front of the room here. And I'm slowly going to lower down into a half moon. And then both hands find the ground. Oh, walk it forward, come on back. From standing splits, both feet find the floor for our down dog. Whew. And that was about 1/3 of the black swan sequence, so you can tell it would be a lot to continue on. So let's just do a little sampler, little bite size, and then we'll come back to that for its own practice. So get the swing into a good spot so we can continue on here with our upside down dog and up dog and that handstand variation. Okay, so it's a little bit easier to be with another mat in front of you for grip. What we're going to do is going to stay about 12 to 16 inches above our mats, and we're going to come through our floating plank. So in our floating plank, I'm really pulling my fingers forward. I'm just like the little suction cup. Those little geckos do it so well. But we're just gonna swim, okay? So I'm pulsing back and forth. I'm engaging the underbelly of the arms, and I'm really pulling strongly. Now from here, I can bring the elbow to knee on each side, like I did before in my basic forward fold sequence. Okay, that's a really strong practice, but just see if it feels good. So elbow goes to the outside of the knee, all the way out and around. Yes, add a little bit of a spin there. Keep the arms straight the whole time, straight, straight, straight. So pull your shoulders up, over, and then, yes. So we don't really want to collapse anywhere in that one. And then if we have the capacity to leapfrog, both knees forward, pulling forward, and swimming back. Really strong. Okay, now we hook both feet outside in. Okay, let's walk to the front of the mat. And then here we'll have our baby chaturungas, our mini push-ups. So my elbows are gonna curl in towards one another as opposed to pointing out. So for chaturanga, elbows in, parallel to the wrists. And then for our big push-up, we're going to walk our hands closer to the center of the mat, maybe halfway to the pivot point, the apex of the AirX logo. So stacked, right? So shoulder distance with the hands. And now the elbows can flare out, and it's like you're basically going to touch down with your chin. It's not your forehead or crown of the head. So the chest stays lifted. So we're really dipping with our chest. And it creates a little bit more lift with the upper pectorals. A little bit harder too. Okay, so from here, we're going to push back and come into our upside down dog. Okay, let that feel really good. So really strong push back. And then when we pull forward, I want you to walk to the front of the mat and go for up dog at the front of the mat. So use the front of the mat for our handstands next. So we're going to press back, take a nice deep exhale and release. Inhale, pull forward for up dog. Exhale, hook your toes and tuck. Stack your hips over your shoulders for a version of handstand. And then we're going to exhale, press back again. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, take a breath and pause. And then exhale, press back, upside down dog, all the way back. Yes, stand, beautiful. Inhale, pull forward for up dog. Exhale, tuck, engage through the feet. Inhale, stack, and then exhale, press back. So that's how we can go from upside down dog to up dog to handstand. And then we end with our headstand, like we have done before. So our headstand is going to be with our feet hooked. So we drop down onto our elbows, create a tripod, so we're interlacing the fingers, crown of the head finds the floor, and then we are stacking. Okay, so now we're a little bit more engaged for advanced practice. We'll come back to our inversions, but we're really pushing into our forearms to lift the shoulders, and we're keeping our hips as close as possible stacked right over the crown of the head. Now, if you want to relax back and do the version we did before and relax the shoulders for headstand, that's more beginner, that's fine. But since we're moving to more advanced practices, we're going to really engage. So we're practicing how to hold our weight and building that upper body strength as well as alignment in these poses. Okay, great. Normally we hold the headstand for 5 breaths, but we're going to start to unwind and unfurl today. Go ahead and come back onto your hands. Both feet are going to come down, coming through our floating leaf. Just giving yourself a chance before the toes touch down to enjoy the swing, completely suspending your weight. And then we're going to let our feet find the back of the mat. We're pressing back, happy dog, grounding down, wagging our tail. And then we're going to walk forward with our hands, walk forward with our feet, walk forward with our hands. Make sure that there's tension on the swing before you come up, right? So the hips press forward, and then we can lift through our angel wings to come out nice and strong. Yes, so that's really great for the low back and for the whole back body to engage. We're going to go into our flying salutations next, so we'll be right back. I'm going to index the video, so look for the next video. We'll be right back with 9B.